Hey everybody. So today, instead of doing a mod showcase, I decided we'll just go through my full load order. This is my favorite load order to date. Reason being, actually has the best graphics that I've been able to get, but also having plenty of room to add armor, weapon, fowler, home, extra mods. I remember not too long ago having almost all of the mod space on the Xbox completely full, only having like 100 megabytes left just for graphics. And now realizing that that is ridiculous. You can get really well done graphics without the large mods. So let's start running through it here. So the unofficial Skyrim Special Edition patch should not need an introduction. I feel everyone knows of this by now. It just fixes a lot of bugs in the original game. Dead body collision fix. What this one does is makes dead bodies solid. You can no longer walk through dead bodies, and if there are several dead bodies, they'll stack. So they'll pile up. Much better. I haven't had any issues with them getting in the way, but my character actually steps over them versus walking through them. Vampires suck, no attacks in towns. This one just gets rid of the annoying vampire attacks. I hate going to the city to do smithing or to the shops or something, and the vampire will come and kill me before I get that done, because for some reason I always lose to them. Dragons Be Gone virtually does the same thing as Vampires Suck, except it's for dragons. It just disables them from attacking towns, but it doesn't affect them outside of that. So that way they don't wipe out your whole town. Forest of Sorrows, this is a main menu replacer. I really like the look, but mainly I like the music it adds instead of the Dragonborn chanting. Been playing this game since 2011, and as cool as the song is, I can sometimes get tired of hearing it. But this is really good music. I recommend this one. Alternate smithing categories. So what this mod does is changes the categories in smithing to where the vanilla game is like iron, steel, leather, so forth. This will change it to, light armor, heavy armor, mace, dagger, that kind of thing. So it's much more organized, and I find I can find what I want quicker. So I recommend this one. Enchantments Unleashed makes it to where you can put any enchantment on any item. In the vanilla game, there's enchantment, it can only go on, say, boots and helmet. Just example. It's stupid. This makes it where you can put any enchantment, any item. You can make your character overpowered with this by putting like 4 of the same enchantment on, helmet, armor, boots, gauntlets, whatever. But I don't do like that, but it's just the freedom of being able to do whatever I want with the enchanting. Common clothes. Leon Shore got me into this one. It really is probably the best single mod you can have for what it does. He did a highlight video on this if you want to go check that out. Chameleon armor. Again, Leon Short, pretty much this is just for Serana. It looks really good. This is a Witcher style sword pack. I have never played the Witcher games. I don't even really know what they are, to be honest, but I like these mods regardless. This adds 102 craftable swords. I like a lot of weapon variety in the game, and this adds a lot. This is the Lord of the Rings weapon pack. Garn Turbo, I think, did a showcase on this one, but this is really well done. This is medieval inspired weapon pack. This has 37 medieval inspired weapons. Some of these are really cool. As you can see, I like a lot of weapons, and having the freedom of space to use these large weapon mods is great and still have the good graphics. Another weapon pack. This adds a large variety of weapons, about 50 of them. These are all really well done too. Another one here, Gear. Again, adds more weapons. And it also has a bag of holding to increase your carry weight, which I haven't used yet, but I've heard much about it. Cloaks of Skyrim. Now, my favorite part about this mod is, the guards in the cities wear these cloaks. There's another mod, I think it's Capes or something like that. Not as good as this one. This one's much better. Enren's shield pack. It adds 40 shields that are craftable. Definitely the most highly detailed shields that I've ever seen. Really cool looking. The only issue is sometimes it'll clip into your armor depending on what you're wearing, but I can overlook that. Another armor mod. Usually put this on a follower. Armor of Intrigue. Another really good armor. I won't go too much in detail with these armors because they're kind of personal preference here. Crimson Ranger armor. I had just found this one. This looks really cool. And I hadn't realized this is from The Witcher also. So I guess I have a lot from that. Maybe I should play that game. I've been playing Skyrim only since 2011. Most people don't believe me when I say that, but it's the only game I've played since 2011. The Witcher bear armor, that's another one. Some leather hoods. It just adds some hoods to the game. Certain armors, you might want a hood, but you don't want the mage hood. And it comes in a lot of different colors, which is good. Wearable lanterns. This is one of the very first mods I ever installed. And I haven't gotten rid of it since I first installed it. Now, I don't like wearing the lantern on your belt. I like going to the settings and changing it to where it's held. There's something cool about that. It's having the arm out with the lantern. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. 50% more perk points. Now, the reason I'm using this is I'm using Ordinator. An Ordinator adds so many more perks to get that you almost can't get them all. So this adds 1 extra perk point per 2 levels to make you a little more easily get what Ordinator has to offer without getting up to level 80 to do it. I'm also using Apocalypse Magic of Skyrim along with the patch that connects these 3 together. Since I've installed these, I haven't gotten rid of them. Yeah. The next mod is Summer Mist Enchantments. Now this is another one I got a long time ago and I haven't gotten rid of it. It adds a ton of cool enchantments to the game. 120 to be exact. This applies to your weapons and NPC weapons. They're all, you can add all of them yourself with the the enchanter table. Some really cool ones, and I think this is an area in the vanilla game that they underutilized as far as what, there was very little enchantments I felt in the game, so I have to have this one. Display enhancements. If you want graphics, you need this mod. Now, go to Gone Turbo. He has several videos on how to use this in the best possible way. But you can customize it any way you want. But he has definitely found some good ways of using it. Cheat room. Now, I don't cheat in my game. I use this for making these videos. For showcases, I can use the cheat spell to change the weather. And the only other thing I really use it for is to, trying out new armor mods. I can just go there and craft it, and but I don't cheat in my playthroughs. Now, unlimited shouts. It just takes away the cooldown on your shouts. I never liked the cooldown. I feel like if you're Dragonborn and you can shout, you should be able to keep shouting. Maybe that's just me. Immersive spell visuals. This changes the way the spells look in your hand. And it looks really cool. Each spell looks different. I really like this one. This is Dual Sun Animation Replacer. This changes all animations for every character in the game. My favorites in this are the sneak position, which is where you're crouched instead of just standing, and I like the landing on a jump. Those are my two favorites out of this. Weightless crafting ingredients. This just takes away the weight from all crafting ingredients. Ores, ingots, dragon bones, and potion ingredients, and food. Not potions though, but potion ingredients. That was always the problem with smithing in the game to me, is you can't carry what you need to make the stuff. So you kind of have to buy it on the spot. I've been playing the game so long, I would rather just be able to make what I want. I guess you could say that's cheating, but I don't think it is too much. It just takes away a little bit of annoyance, if you ask me. Big jump times 2. I just wanted to try this one. It looks a little funny, so I'm not too sure about it, but it is useful for if you get stuck, you can get out of it, or if you're Skyrimming your way up a mountain, it is a little easier to do. This is seriously overstocked in Rich Merchants. Now there is another mod similar to this called Rich Merchants of Skyrim, which makes the merchants richer, but this one makes them have more gold but also more to sell, which I really like, is having more options of things to buy, especially at the start of the game. Immersive sounds. This overhauls all of the sounds in the game. My favorite out of this is when you draw your bow and the clanging of weapons in combat. Much better. Highly recommend this one. Louder nature. This does not change any sounds in the game. It just makes nature louder, such as birds and insects. I really like it. Like when you're in Riverwood. I don't know. I like having the loud nature. I feel like that's how it would be. Recommend that one too. TLS Cries of War. Leon Shore just did a video on this one. It just changes the voice of all. I'm not sure if maybe Leon Shore can answer. This is just your character, correct? For Breton Nord Imperial Redguard, I don't think it does NPC. I haven't read through the full description. Enhanced Trees of Skyrim. This is my favorite tree mod. It just does the pines, though. It does not change the other, by Riften and those trees. But in the snowy areas especially, this looks really good. Now, I can't recommend this mod enough, HD Trees 4K, if you're using Enhanced Trees for Skyrim, because they look so good together. And we'll get to it, but I'm using Rustic Lands, and my previous video I posted the audio cut short, so I didn't get my point across. I haven't fixed that yet. But this, combined with this, with Rustic Lands, blends so perfectly. It was a great find. Vadosprung, Grass and Ground Cover, original version, not dense. This is my favorite grass mod that I found. It seems similar to the Verdant, but Verdant always causes stuttering. But this one runs really smooth. Fallen Trees. This just adds fallen trees all over Skyrim. What I really like about this one is it'll add trees fallen across rivers. So you're actually able to cross rivers and that kind of thing, which is pretty cool. Skyrim is windy. Pretty self-explanatory. It just adds wind. I really like the blowing effect on the grass. That looks really good. Amazing Follower Tweaks. I have to have this mod since I found it. For one, it makes you able to have up to 5 followers at once, which I haven't done, but I like to have 2. I don't know why I find having 2 followers just seems the best way to go. Also, something I like is sometimes you will lose your follower, and this has an option to, if you get separated from your follower, you can just summon them back to your position. Seems a little immersion breaking, I know, but it is handy when you don't know where you left them, because I have had that happen. The Eyes of Beauty, it's just an eye mod. It replaces the eyes. It's pretty good. Probably my favorite that I've found so far. Superior lore-friendly hair. Now there's other hair mods that I like, but they don't blend into the game the way this one does. This looks, well, lore-friendly, as it says. So yeah, I recommend that one. Osmodeus Solitude. I'm using, as you see here, all of the Osmodeus mods for cities. Again, with using Rustic Lands from the same mod author, I mean. Now, Rustic Lands I don't think is just Osmodeus, but I know he's part of it. I hope I'm right on that, I think. But yeah, these look really good, and they just blend together really well into the rest of the game, which is why I like them. There's a lot of other good ones. I've used Coat of Paint for a long time. I've used the Kato's mods. These just seem the most natural looking. But it's really personal preference. There's nothing wrong with any of the other ones. I don't know why I go back to these. It just seems like this is how the game could have looked had they had more time. Now this one, Markarth the White City. I'll probably showcase this one. This is my favorite Markarth that I've found, even more than the Coat of Paint. Now, what works well is the Osmodeus mods don't cover Markov, to my understanding, so I can still use this one. It's really well done. I wish there were more like this for the other cities. Rustic lands, like I talked about. I know I'm not alone saying that I used Skyland for pretty much forever for my main landscape overhaul until this came out. My favorite part here is the roads. The roads are the best that I have seen. Vivid Landscapes, Tombs, and Ruins. Yeah, this is the best mod to overhaul your Tombs and Ruins. Interior and exterior. Looks really good. I don't know how to recommend it enough. This is one I just recently tried. 4K Hectoral Caves. I haven't looked, I've seen it in about 3 different caves. I'm going to look at more caves to kind of decide if I want to stick with this or go back to the one I was previously using. 4K Fire. There are a lot of fire mods out there. This one to me looks the best. I never hear anyone talk about this one. Maybe I'm alone on this, but I like this one. Mines by T4GTR. See, I was using the Caves version from this author, but I just wanted to try the other one. Now, nothing wrong with these at all. I wasn't trying to find a better mod than the ones by this author. I was just curious about that other one. But these are very well done, very detailed. Highly recommended. HD Unique Sign Remaster. I love this mod. It changes all of the signs in the towns and cities and villages to really detailed. They look like hand painted. They're really readable from a distance. They're recognizable. If you've had it in your game long enough, it's kind of helpful if you're not sure which building's which to know, because the symbol on it's so iconic. Texture overhaul for Clutter. Now, I am not using a giant static mesh improvement mod, and I must admit I don't even notice. I use this, and that is it. I do not miss the other mods. I use the original static mesh improvement. As great of a mod as it is, for the file size, to me it is not worth it. How often do you stare at these little things? And with the other mods I'm using, I've got pretty much everything covered. This is Northfire's Photoreal Mountains Vanilla. Now, there's 2 versions of this. I had been using the other one, not realizing that there are 2. The other one is darker. This vanilla one I like a lot better. It blends into the landscapes more naturally with rustic lands. I like the way it looks on waterfalls, and this is definitely my favorite mountain mod that I have found. Vivid Landscapes Forts again. I've tried other mods for forts, and I have not found any better than this. Embers HD, this just redoes the embers. It's pretty simple, but I like it. Horse Texture Replacer. Now, I have to give huge credit to Leon Shore here, because I had never heard of this mod until he showcased it, and he is right. It is the best horse replacer there is. Designs of the Nords. This replaces the banners. I know there are other mods similar in higher file size, but I don't think they do a better job than this one. Enhanced blood textures. I think almost everyone uses this mod. It adds more blood. It retextures the blood. It adds the green blood for spiders. The dwarven machines bleed oil. All that good stuff. Riverwood Reborn, definitely the best Riverwood overhaul that I've seen. Really natural look, really weathered look, and I absolutely love it. Kato's Falkreath. Again, this is the best Kato's overhaul I've seen. Really, really good. Skyland Towns and Villages. Now this will overhaul all of your villages. This combined with the wood texture mod I'm going to show is all you need for your villages. And for a very small file size. And this is it. The real wood textures, farmhouses, no moss. This is the best wood texture that I've ever seen. This is hybrids, HD plants and herbs. This just retextures most of the alchemy ingredients as far as plants and berries and that kind of thing. Static mesh improvement barrels. This just overhauls the barrels. HD dirt cliffs. Leon Shore showcased this mod, and I had used it before that, but his video, showcasing the mod in its entirety, really made me decide that I'm not gonna ever disable this mod, because it comes into play in so many areas. I have seen this in caves. I have seen this in Markarth. So it's not just exterior, where you would think. It's everywhere. Draugr horrific textures. This just retextures all of the Draugr. They definitely look creepier. It's a very small mod, but it does a really good job of it. HDIV 2K. This combined with real wood textures, combined with Riverwood Reborn, just makes Riverwood look really awesome. So I highly recommend this, even if it's just for that reason. Splendor Dragon Variant. I feel like not many people know of this mod. It's very small, not even a megabyte. But it does a lot. Highly recommend this one if you don't want the very large file size dragon mods that are out there. Farmhouse Chimneys just adds chimneys to farmhouses. That's very simple. Magical College of Winterhold. I might showcase this one. Since downloading it, I can't do without it. The vanilla college is just so bland, and this makes the College of Magic seem like a College of Magic and not so much like a giant barn. Enhanced lights and effects. This is my favorite interior lighting mod. It really brings things out. The light beams and the smoke, and I've noticed better shadows from NPCs and your player. This is just the patch for ELFX and the college. Waterview. This is a player home. This is a really cool player home. I recommend this one. Hunter's Treehouse. Now, I really like this. It's a very, very small player home, and it's just outside of Riverwood, between Riverwood and Whiterun. It's the perfect location for a player home. And sometimes you don't want a big castle. This just has a bed with storage, and I think it has an alchemy table. Very simple, but sometimes it's all you need. Convenient bridges. This is a really cool mod. It adds, not retextures, it adds bridges to the game in some pretty cool areas that are really helpful to cross rivers. And not only is it useful, but it looks really cool. Each bridge is a different type of bridge. There's wooden bridges, stone bridges. Some of them are broken bridges, and I really like it. It kind of adds some history to the land in a way, where the broken bridges and they're overgrown and that kind of thing. I like it. Now, Bridges of Skyrim is just a retexture of 30 bridges in the game. It's small file size, really nice looking bridges, and again, they're all different. They're not the same retexture. I used to use a mod called Wooden Bridges, but that was just for wooden bridges. This is 30 different bridges. I really like it. Shroud's Elf Ears. This kind of a weird mod. It makes it to where you can change the elf ears, so it's customizable. I just thought I'd try it out. It's pretty cool if it's something you'd be into, but definitely not for everybody. Weathered road signs. Now, I really like this mod over Point the Way, because these road signs, as you would think, are weathered. They're not perfect. They're not like perfect road signs that look like they were just put there. These signs look like they've been there for a long time, and I like the lanterns hanging from them. I think that makes sense, so you can read them at night. Satyr horses, again, shout out to Leon Shore, because I had never heard of this mod until him. It adds 2 horses at the Lady Stone. Really awesome looking horses. If you want a horse that's not just your vanilla horses, it's awesome. Dragon Remains. This makes it to where when you kill a dragon and you steal the soul, it won't turn into bones. It just, it stays how it looks, and it gives you a chance to admire them rather than battling them. They die and disappear. You actually get a look at the dragons. I think it's pretty cool. Realistic wildlife behavior. This just makes it so the wildlife in the game does not start attacking you on sight. Though if you provoke them, they will attack you. But a bear doesn't see you and start charging immediately. And it also gets rid of that annoying mud crab problem for fast traveling, because being near a mud crab doesn't make them hostile. You have to attack them first. So it's really useful, and honestly, it's more realistic to me. Tweaked arrows and bolts. So this one increases the speed of all arrows by 70%, increases the speed of bolts by 50%, and increases the max distance by 100%. It gets rid of that stupid dodge in the game where you shoot your arrow at a long distance and it's like the NPC is Spider-Man and they just like slowly step away. I hate that. This pretty much fixes it. Maybe not every time, but it's definitely more realistic. Maximum skeleton Ragdoll Force, I believe this is called. This just makes it when you kill an NPC, they fall realistically. I really like it. Better combat AI. I'm not big on combat mods and mods that make the game extremely difficult. For the most part, I feel all you need to do is raise the difficulty itself. Though this one doesn't make it more difficult, as it makes it more realistic. It makes the NPCs smarter. Read the full description, but an archer will try to gain distance on you. If there are 3 enemies, they will surround you. They're not such brain dead enemies anymore. So it's more challenging in a realistic way, and not a ridiculous way where everyone just one hit kills you. Realistic conversations. It gives some interesting conversations in the inns to listen to. It kind of gives you this cool sense that maybe you're not the only character in the game who has something going on. I like it. Now this is one I just found. Leon Shore. I was talking to him and asked him, "Do you know of any follower mods?" And he must have sent me like 20. But this one adds a lot. How many does this add? I didn't even count. Anyways, it adds, you can see the list here, it's long. It adds a lot of followers to the game. I haven't even found them all yet, to be honest, but maybe half. But having all of these options to me is awesome. And they're all really well done followers. I like it. This is just a texture and body replacer. I'm using these two. One is female, one is male. And in this mod, it actually has in the description that it recommends using that with these two. So I went ahead and placed it below them. Quality world map. Classic. I like the classic. It has all of the roads versus the one with just stone roads. And then I have a quality world map, clear skies, so there's no clouds on the map. I hate trying to see what I want to see and there being clouds in the way. Pastel map markers. Kind of personal preference, but I think all the different colors looks really cool, and the icons are a little more recognizable for what if you're looking for something particular. Okay, now we got weather. Again, thank you, Leon Shore, for this discovery of the lightning during storms with Mythical Ages with the patch. Mythical Ages for sure is my favorite weather mod. I have tried every single weather mod there is out there today, and this is the best one for me. It is not saying it's the best one ever. There are many good ones and ones I like, but this is my favorite. I like the look of it. But I am using the Obsidian Mountain Fogs. This one's just amazing. It just changes the fog around mountains. And then, thank you, Gone Turbo, for your 3-part video series showing how to use this with other weather mods, and how you used it with Mythical Ages. As I try to keep making my game look better, you're always one step ahead of everybody. So, huge shout out to you. This is just an LOD blur. It adds a ring to Riverwood, which gives you the option to blur the distance. I don't always wear it, but sometimes for screenshots or something, or if you want your game to look more fantasy, this one's pretty good. Toggle compass. This is a simple mod that makes you able to turn the compass off without turning the other display off. It's pretty convenient. Realistic Water 2 with the LOD fix. Again, I think everyone uses Realistic Water. It's really the only water mod on Xbox. Really, I've tried a couple, but all they did was crash the game or not work. This is the best water mod. Immersive Footprints 2. This is in the work in progress section still. So if you want this, that's the only place you can find it. This makes it to where when you're walking in snow, you leave footprints behind. So simple. I don't know how that wasn't in the game originally. Wet and Cold. This does a lot of different things, and it's very customizable. But really what I like it for is when you go in the water, when you come out of the water, your clothes are dripping wet. And when it's cold, you can see your breath. Visible favorited gear. This just makes it, to where your favorited gear is on your back. A little more realistic. Insignificant object remover. I'm not sure honestly how well this works or how much difference it makes, but it's such a small file size. If it makes your game run even a little bit better, it's worth it. So that's why I have it in there, because why not? Color patch remover removes the most ridiculous thing in Skyrim. Why is this here? The color patches. I remember the first time I saw these, I thought there was something wrong with my game. Oh my gosh. Alternate start. Unlike Leon Shore, I've probably played 30 different characters, where he has only played the one with his 700-hour character. But I've had a lot of issues with my game because I'm constantly changing things in and out, and I've had some corrupted games. So I just don't want to go through that original intro. It's also pretty cool because you can start the game as a member of the college or Dawn Guard or whichever. Now this is newer. This is really cool. Character creation overhaul. Now, if you're like me, and you start a lot of characters, this is pretty cool. So when you start the game, you can pick a what are those called? Damn it, I can't think of the name. The stones that give you the different powers. Anyways, you can pick them from the start. So you will start the game with one of the stones. And also you can customize the skills your character starts with, or go into presets basically. So say you want to be a mage, you can just pick the mage preset, and it will make your destruction and all the other spells higher up. So your destruction might start at 30 instead of 15, while the other skills it's not affected by will start lower. But to me that makes sense, because say you are a mage, why would a mage have no abilities from the start? It almost makes it feel like your character has no history. I like these. Like if you're an archer, you start off at least decent at archery, rather than just being a total imbecile at every skill in the game right from the start. It's like, what was your character doing before the game? Like, nothing somehow. So anyways, and you can install this mid playthrough and it will apply still, but it works better if you go just from the beginning. So anyways, guys, that's my full load order. A couple more things. If you follow this channel at all, you might be a little confused, because my first video was graphics showcase with the load order and description, and you'll find that it is a different load order than this. And then the showcases following was a different load order than that, and for that I apologize. If you're following me in a little you're probably kind of thinking, what is this guy doing? Well, again, I experiment with this stuff. I test things. But I'm happy to say, for the most part, with this load order I have here, I don't think I'll be doing any drastic changes. Maybe just moving very little. And if you can read that on the top right, I still have 403 megabytes left. So I could add in more weapons, armor, followers, anything, even graphics. But I feel the graphics are almost as good as they get. Just going to run through this one more time. You can see that I have, with all of these weapons, I have hundreds more weapons in the game. All of these armor mods, all the perk overhauls, the magic, and then all the sound, and then the best trees I've ever seen with the grass, with the people overhauls, the city overhauls, the landscape, and all these little things in between. I'm not bragging or saying this is the best ever. It's not by far. But what I am saying is you can get a really good looking game and still have plenty of room to have the fun mods. Don't get too obsessed with just the graphics. You still want to have fun with the game. To me, the fun mods for me are the weapons and the followers. I'm having fun with that. Having all these weapons and cool armor with the followers, and the game looking amazing. So with the game looking amazing, and then being able to do whatever else you want with all the extra space is just great. And I have to say thanks to Leon Shore again for making me realize that you don't need these giant, gigabyte sized mods. And I'm not criticizing them as much as I'm just saying, if you want just graphics, then that's fine. But I've always wanted good looking characters, weapons, armor, the whole deal with the graphics. And this is as close as I've come. I know I'll keep looking for new things, but for now, I might just stick to this for a while and showcase some of these mods that I have. Anyways, I hope you learned maybe a little bit from this. Or if you see any mods you like, that's kind of the goal of the whole channel, is just to show what I have learned and what I like, and maybe give you guys at least an idea of something. I'll have more showcases coming out. I hope you've liked the one I've done. I'm working on the editing. Sorry for the poor editing up to date, but I am working on it. So thanks everyone for watching.